Well, I don't want to talk about that. What I do want to say is that Todd is a great attorney, but you ought to be speaking about Larry Summers. You ought to be speaking about some of his friends that are hedge fund guys. They're all over the place. You ought to be speaking about Bill Clinton, who went to the island 28 times. I never went to the island.
Do you maintain you did not write a letter for Jeffrey Epstein's birthday?
I don't even know what they're talking about. Now, somebody could have written a letter and used my name, but that's happened a lot. All you have to do is take a look at the dossier, the fake dossier. Everything's fake with that administration. Everything's fake with the Democrats. Take a look at what they just found about the dossier. Everything is fake. They're a bunch of sick people. Where did you see the people laying outside?
Right across your...
Hello, Patriots, and welcome back to Harlan Reports. I'm Harlan, and I am so honored you chose to spend a few moments with me tonight. I know many of you are busy wrapping presents, cooking dinner, or just sitting by the fire with your loved ones. But what I have to tell you right now, well, it might be the most important broadcast I've ever done. Tonight, history is being made. Tonight, the truth is finally coming home. Let's get right into the top story. Folks, look at the date on your screen. It is Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2025. This is a night for miracles, a night for family, and a night for hope. And let me tell you, we just got the biggest gift we could have ever prayed for. I have to be honest with you, my hands are shaking a little bit as I hold these papers. I've been waiting for this moment. We have been waiting for this moment for so long. The Department of Justice, under the strong, fair leadership of President Trump, has just released nearly 30,000 pages of files related to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I know what you're thinking because I thought it too. We were worried the swamp would try to hide things again, but they didn't. The truth is out. And the headline, the one the fake news media is too scared to print, is this: President Donald J. Trump has been completely cleared. I want you to let that sink in. For years, we watched them throw dirt on his name. We watched them lie and say terrible things just to make us doubt him. It hurt, didn't it? It hurt to see a man who loves his country so much get treated so poorly. But the DOJ has confirmed it officially tonight. They said the claims linking our 47th president to those awful crimes were unfounded and false. They admitted that if there was even a tiny speck of dirt, the enemies of America would have used it years ago. But they couldn't, because there was nothing to find. I'm looking into the camera right now, and I'm seeing the faces of everyone who stood by him. I'm thinking of the grandmothers who prayed for him, the workers who wore his hats even when they got made fun of. This victory is for you. President Trump is clean. He is innocent. He banned that bad man, Epstein, from Mar-a-Lago years ago because he saw the evil in him before anyone else did. While others stayed silent, Trump had the courage to say no. Tonight, as the snow falls and the lights twinkle, we can finally take a deep breath. The heavy cloud is gone. Our president stands tall, vindicated, and strong. It makes you want to cry tears of pure joy, doesn't it? To know that truth really does win in the end. This isn't just news. This is justice. And it is the most beautiful Christmas present America could ever receive. But hold on tight, folks. Because while President Trump is in the clear, the storm is just starting for the people who lied to us.
They've released how many documents tonight? 200,000? More? 400?
10% of that.
Okay, so a good faith effort is being made to release files tonight.
Really?
They're obviously doing that. And I think as it relates to redactions, I mean, my impression is that there's a whole lot of names of victims in there and minors and other people that you probably wouldn't want to release, and they do need to be redacted. Regarding Bill Clinton, I'm sorry to tell you, the reason that Bill Clinton's picture is in the Epstein files is because this has always been a story about Bill Clinton and not Donald Trump. We should call it the Clinton files, not the Epstein files. That's what we're learning tonight. This is the Clinton files. This is the blowing up in the face of the Democrats over this. It's Bill Clinton. This is a story about Democrats and Bill Clinton, and it's always been that way.
Pictures of Donald Trump with Epstein.
You know, there is a very big difference between walking in the light and hiding in the shadows. For years, President Trump walked in the light. He stood in front of stadiums full of people. He took the arrows, he took the insults, and he never flinched. Why? Because he had nothing to hide. A man with a clear conscience sleeps soundly at night. But tonight, there are some very powerful people who are definitely not sleeping. In fact, I bet they are pacing their floors, making frantic phone calls, and sweating through their expensive suits. While we celebrate the truth about our president, we have to look at the other side of this coin. The files released by the DOJ are doing more than just clearing Donald Trump's name. They are shining a spotlight on the people who actually have secrets to keep. And folks, the name that keeps popping up, the name that is causing a total meltdown in the swamp right now, is Bill Clinton. The reports coming in are saying that his team is scrambling. Can you imagine the panic? For decades, these elites thought they were untouchable. They thought they played by a different set of rules than you and me. They thought their power and their fancy connections would protect them forever. But they forgot one thing. They forgot about us. They forgot about the movement that put Donald Trump back in the White House. And they certainly forgot that when you have a president who actually follows the law, no one is above the truth. We are seeing mentions of photos. We are hearing about flight logs. The DOJ isn't holding back. They are letting the American people see the reality. And the reality is that, well, they were busy trying to frame an innocent man. Our president. They were covering up for their own friends. It makes you angry, doesn't it? To think about how much time was wasted chasing lies while the real bad behavior was ignored. It makes my blood boil, and I know it makes yours boil too. But listen to me closely. Don't let the anger steal your joy tonight. This panic we are seeing from the other side, that is the sound of justice approaching. It is the sound of a swamp draining. Just like President Trump promised. They are scared because the game is up. They can control the narrative anymore. The curtain is being pulled back, and the whole world is watching. It's like a giant weight is being lifted off the chest of this country. We are finally seeing who the real heroes are, and who the real villains have been all along. And let me tell you, it is a beautiful sight to behold. But you won't believe how the mainstream media is trying to handle this. Or should I say, hide this. That part of the story is coming up next. Now, let's talk about the silence. Have you turned on the other channels tonight? Have you looked at the websites that usually scream at us every single hour of the day? It's quiet. Too quiet. It's almost spooky. You would think that a massive release of 30,000 pages from the Department of Justice would be breaking news everywhere. You would think that clearing a president's name, officially clearing after years of accusations, would be the top headline. But if you click over the mainstream media right now, you might see stories about holiday shopping or the weather. They are pretending this isn't happening. Why? Because they are embarrassed. They are ashamed. For years, they sold you a story that wasn't true. They told you to hate a man, to fear a man, based on lies. And now that the truth is out there, plain as day, they don't know what to do. They can't face you. They can't look you in the eye and say, we were wrong. Admitting they were wrong would mean admitting that President Trump was right all along. It would mean admitting that he really is the victim of a witch hunt, and they just can't bring themselves to do that. It hurts my heart to see how much they despise the truth when it doesn't fit their narrative. Think about the families sitting at home right now, relying on those channels for news. They are being kept in the dark on purpose. It's not just unfair. It's un-American. In this country, we believe in the truth, no matter whose side it helps or hurts. But the media, they only care about their agenda. But here is the good news. Patriots, their silence is actually a victory for us. It proves they have no ammunition left. They have run out of lies. The fact that they aren't attacking President Trump tonight tells you everything you need to know. It means the evidence clearing him is so strong, so undeniable, that even they can't spin it. They are defeated. And while they hide in their studios, refusing to report the news, we are here sharing it. We are the new media now. You, me, and everyone sharing this stream. We are the ones keeping the light of truth burning. And let me tell you, that light is spreading. I'm seeing messages from people who used to believe the mainstream lies. They're tuning in tonight, and they're waking up. A grandmother from Florida just sent a message saying, Harlan, I didn't vote for him, but this isn't right. If he's innocent, they should say so. You see, the truth has a way of reaching people, even through the silence. The wall is cracking, folks. And on the other side of that wall is a whole new world where honesty matters again. But wait until you hear what is buried deep in those files about the people who actually visited the island. That is coming up next, and it is going to shock you. Folks, I have to be honest with you. My heart is pounding in my chest as I read these next pages. It's one thing to suspect that the people in charge were lying to us. It is a completely different thing to see the proof, right here in black and white. These files aren't just papers. They are a map of the dark, ugly world that regular folks like us can barely imagine. And standing right in the center of that darkness, exposed for the whole world to see, are the people who lectured us about morality for decades. We are seeing names that were supposed to be respectable. We are seeing leaders who looked into the cameras and told us how to live our lives. And the name that jumps off the page, the name that makes you feel a sick pit in your stomach, is Bill Clinton. The logs, the photos, the testimonies, it is a nightmare scenario unfolding for him. Just like we warned, while they were busy pointing fingers at Donald Trump, who was busy building skyscrapers and creating jobs, they were the ones taking the flights. They were the ones visiting the island. It makes you want to cry, doesn't it? To think that we entrusted our country to people who had such dark secrets, it feels like a betrayal. It feels like finding out that the person watching your house was the one robbing it. They smiled at us. They asked for our votes. They took our tax money. And all the while, they were doing things that would make a grown man weep. They thought they were better than us. They called us deplorables. But look who the real deplorables are now. But here's the part that brings the tears of relief. Donald Trump wasn't there. In all these thousands of pages, amidst all this filth, his name is nowhere near the crime. He is the diamond in the rough. When he saw what was happening, he didn't join in. He walked away. He kicked the bad guy out. He protected his family, and by doing that, he showed he was ready to protect our families too. This isn't just political anymore, friends. This is spiritual. This is good versus evil. We finally have a president who didn't sell his soul. He kept his hands clean so he could fight for US with all his strength. And tonight, as the masks fall off the faces of the elite, we can finally see who is fighting for the children and who is using them. The truth hurts, but it also heals. And we are just getting started. Because wait until you hear how the Department of Justice is planning to move forward with this information. Justice isn't just coming, it's here. For a long time, the letters DOJ scared a lot of good patriots. We watched as the Department of Justice was used like a weapon against us. We saw them go after parents at school board meetings. We saw them target regular folks just for speaking their minds. It felt like the system was broken, like the people meant to protect us were actually the ones hurting us. It was a dark, scary time, and I know many of you felt helpless. You wondered if fairness was dead in America. But look at what is happening tonight. This is what it looks like when a leader fixes a broken machine. President Trump walked back into the White House and he didn't just change the drapes, he changed the heart of the government. He told the DOJ, no more secrets, no more protecting the powerful, serve the people. And tonight, they are listening. These 30,000 pages aren't just paper. Folks, they are a sword of justice cutting through the lies. It brings tears to my eyes to say this. The good guys are in charge again. Can you feel the relief washing over you? It's like finally being able to breathe after holding your breath for years. The DOJ isn't hiding the bad guys anymore. They are exposing them. They are finally doing the job they were created to do. They are protecting the innocent, like our president, and chasing down the monsters who hurt children. Think about the brave men and women inside that building who wanted to do the right thing for years, but were told to stand down. Imagine how happy they must be tonight, finally allowed to let the truth out. President Trump unleashed them to do their jobs, and they are delivering a Christmas miracle for justice. This is the reckoning. The bad actors, the ones who thought they owned this country, are realizing that their protection is gone. There is no one left to cover up their mess. The shield is down. And for the first time in a long time, the American people are the ones holding the power. It makes you want to hug your kids a little tighter and thank God for sending us a fighter who wouldn't give up on us. But if you think the panic is bad now, wait until I tell you what the insiders are saying about the frantic phone calls happening in Chappaqua right now. The walls are closing in, and I'm going to tell you exactly how in just a moment. I told you about the phone calls. Now, I want you to close your eyes for a second and just imagine the scene. Over in Chappaqua, where the Clintons live, the lights are probably burning in every single room tonight. We are hearing reports of legal teams rushing in, phones ringing off the hook, and a level of panic that we have never seen before. Real, genuine fear for decades. Bill Clinton and his circle walked around like kings. They smiled for the cameras. They gave speeches about values, and they acted like they were untouchable. They thought they were better than you and me. But tonight the bill has finally come due. It brings tears to my eyes just thinking about the justice of it all. For so long, we watched them laugh at the law. They thought the rules were only for the little people, for the workers and the moms and dads trying to make ends meet. They thought they could do whatever they wanted. Fly on those planes, visit those islands, and never pay the price. They thought their power would protect them forever. But they forgot one thing. God watches everything, and God sent us a leader, President Trump, who wasn't afraid to turn on the lights and let the cockroaches scatter. Contrast that panic with our president tonight. I bet Donald Trump is sitting with his beautiful family, enjoying a peaceful Christmas Eve dinner. He isn't sweating, he isn't calling lawyers, he has peace in his heart, because he has absolutely nothing to hide. He walked through the fire, he faced the worst lies in history, and he came out the other side without even the smell of smoke on him. That is what a clear conscience looks like. That is what innocence looks like. This moment is for every forgotten victim. It is for every person who was told to shut up by the powerful elites. Seeing these men, who thought they were gods, finally shaking in their boots, is the justice we have prayed for on our knees. It feels like a heavy chain is falling off the soul of America. We are witnessing the ghost of Christmas, past coming to visit the people who sold out our country. The reckoning isn't just a word anymore, folks, it is real life, and it is happening right in front of our eyes. But hold on. Because the story gets even deeper. The files don't just show who went to the island, they show how deep the cover-up went to protect them. You are going to want to sit down for this next part, because it exposes the entire machine that is coming up right now. The depth of this betrayal is almost too much to comprehend. We aren't just talking about a few bad apples, we are talking about a rotten orchard. The files released tonight expose a machine. A well-oiled machine designed to protect the powerful and crush the truth. For years, they told us these files were lost or irrelevant. They told us we didn't need to see them. Why? Because they knew exactly what was inside. They knew it would shatter their world. Think about the sheer effort it took to keep this hidden. The late-night meetings, the shredded documents, the threats made to silence victims. It makes you shudder. These people worked harder to hide their sins than they ever worked to help the American people. They treated our justice system like their personal cleaning service, sweeping their dirt under the rug while they lectured us about democracy. But President Trump broke the machine. He didn't just win an election, he tore down the curtain. By allowing the DOJ to do its job without interference, he showed us the ugly reality of the swamp, and it hurts to see it. It hurts to know that while families in Ohio and Pennsylvania were struggling to pay bills, the elites in Washington and New York were playing games with justice to save their own skins. They didn't care about the victims. They didn't care about the law. They only cared about staying in power. This is why they hate him so much. This is why they attacked him relentlessly for 8 years. It wasn't because he was bad for the country. It was because he was dangerous to them. He was the only one brave enough to say, "The game is over." And tonight, as the secrets spill out onto the floor, we are seeing exactly why they were so terrified. They knew this day would come if Donald Trump returned to the White House. But amidst this anger, there is a profound sense of gratitude. Imagine where we would be if they had won. Imagine if the cover-up had continued forever. We would be living in a lie. But thanks to the courage of one man and the movement behind him, we are living in the truth. The cover-up has failed. The dam has burst. And the floodwaters of justice are washing away the filth, leaving a clean slate for our country. It's painful, yes, like cleaning a deep wound. But it is necessary for us to heal. And speaking of healing, you won't believe the reaction coming from regular Americans tonight. It's a wave of emotion that is sweeping the nation. That heartwarming story is next. I promised you I would share what is happening in the living rooms of America right now, and honestly, I can barely see the screen through my own tears. The messages you guys are sending, they are beautiful. It turns out that tonight isn't just about politics or court documents, it is about dignity. For years, good people who love their country, who work hard, who go to church, were made to feel small. You were told your values were wrong. You were told your hero was a villain. It wears you down, doesn't it? It makes you feel alone. But tonight, that loneliness is gone. Let me read this message from Robert in Georgia. Robert is 82 years old, a veteran who served this country with honor. He says, "Harlan, I thought I was going to leave this world watching my country fall apart. I thought the bad guys had won for good. But tonight, seeing the truth come out, seeing President Trump standing tall, I'm sitting here with my wife, holding hands, and we are crying like babies. We have hope again. America's going to be okay." Robert, I want you to know, you are not crying alone. Millions of us are crying with you. That feeling you have, that is the feeling of redemption. It's the feeling of knowing that the country you fought for is still there, buried under the lies, waiting to be found. And President Trump found it. He dug it out with his bare hands. He took the insults, the investigations, and the attacks so that men like you could have this moment of peace. This is what the media never understood. They thought it was about a cult of personality. They never saw the love. They never saw the bond between this man and the people he serves. He didn't just fight for himself, he fought for Robert. He fought for the single mom in Detroit. He fought for the farmer in Nebraska. When they attacked him, they were attacking us. And tonight, as he stands vindicated, we all stand up with him. The heavy blanket of shame that the media tried to throw over us is gone. We can wear our red hats. We can fly our flags. And we can look anyone in the eye and say, "We were right." It is the most powerful feeling in the world. But folks, while our hearts are full, we have to look at what comes next. Because with the truth out, and the swamp exposed, there is one final piece of the puzzle that is about to fall into place. It's the reckoning that guarantees this never happens again. Stay tuned. Folks, we have spent a lot of time tonight talking about the past. We talked about the lies, the pain, and the darkness that tried to swallow our country whole. But as we get closer to the end of this broadcast, I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about the future. I want to talk about the promise that President Trump made to every single one of us, and how tonight, on this holy night, he has kept that promise in a way that changes everything. Do you remember when he said he would be our voice? Do you remember when he stood on that stage and said, "I am your warrior, I am your justice"? A lot of people in Washington laughed. They thought it was just a speech. But looking at these files, looking at the truth finally being free, we realize he wasn't just giving a speech. He was making a vow. He was swearing a sacred oath to stand between us and the wolves. And tonight, the wolves are running away. Think about our children and our grandchildren sleeping in their beds right now, waiting for Christmas morning. For a long time, I worried about the world we were leaving them. I worried it was too corrupt, too broken. But tonight, I look at their innocent faces and I feel a peace I haven't felt in years. Because the system that protected monsters like Jeffrey Epstein, it is gone. President Trump didn't just drain the swamp, he paved it over. He made sure that no amount of money and no amount of power can ever buy protection for evil again. This is the greatest gift of all. It's not just that he was cleared, it's that he fixed the broken road so our kids can walk safely. He took the arrows, he took the mud, he took the hatred of the entire media establishment, all so he could stand guard at the gate of America. He suffered so we wouldn't have to. When you really think about that kind of sacrifice, it breaks you down. It makes you realize how lucky we are to have a leader who loves this country more than he loves his own comfort. The storm we feared, it didn't destroy us. It washed us clean. The reckoning is here. But for us, it is a rescue mission. We are safe. Our values are safe. And the man in the White House is exactly who we thought he was, a hero. But folks, dry those tears for just one more minute, because I want to leave you with one final thought tonight. It is the most important thing I have to say. And it is the perfect way to end this historic Christmas Eve that is coming up next. My final thought tonight is simple, but I want you to carry it with you forever. Look around your living room right now. Look at the lights on your Christmas tree. Look at the faces of the people you love. For a long time, we were told that the best days of America were behind us. They told us to lower our expectations. They told us to accept a world where the powerful got away with everything and the rest of us just had to take it. But tonight proves them wrong. Tonight proves that the American dream didn't die. It was just fighting for its life, and it won. We have been through the valley of the shadow of death, patriots. We really have. We watched our country get torn apart by lies. We lost friends who didn't understand us. We lost jobs because we stood up for our rights. There were nights, and I know you had them too. I stared at the ceiling and prayed, "God, please don't let the light go out." I was scared. We were all scared. But we held on. We held on because we saw a man standing in the arena, bloody but unbowed, refusing to surrender, and because he didn't quit, we didn't quit. This Christmas Eve isn't just the end of our broadcast. It is the beginning of a golden age. We are waking up tomorrow in a country where truth matters again. We are waking up in a country where the president is one of us. A man who protects the innocent and exposes the guilty. The nightmare is finally over. The heavy weight is gone. You can breathe. You can hope. You can dream big dreams for your children again, because the road ahead is clear and bright. I am crying tears of pure joy tonight, and I know you are too. Let them flow. These are the tears of victory. These are the tears of the people who took their country back. We are the lucky ones. We get to tell our grandkids that we were here. We get to tell them that when the darkness tried to take over, we stood with Donald Trump and we brought back the light. So from the bottom of my heart, Merry Christmas. America, hug your families tight. Say a prayer of thanks. And sleep well tonight knowing that the good guys finally won. The storm is past. And the sun is rising on the greatest nation God ever created. I love you all. Stay strong, stay proud, and never forget how good this feels. If this message touched your heart tonight, and if you want to keep fighting for the truth alongside us every single day, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. We are building something special here. A family of patriots. And I want you with us for every step of this beautiful journey. God bless you, and Harlan out.